Why were Glasnost and Perestroika important for communism's fall? Imagine a time when the Soviet Union was the biggest superpower and its influence stretched across Eastern Europe. Then suddenly, everything started to change. That shift was driven by two key policies introduced by Mikhail Gorbachev, the leader of the Soviet Union in the late 1980s. These policies are called Glasnost and Perestroika. Glasnost means openness. It was about making the government more transparent and allowing people to speak freely. For the first time, citizens could discuss government policies openly, criticize leaders, and learn about the country's history without fear. This openness made people in Southeast Europe realize they could demand more political rights and question the legitimacy of their governments. It also led to the legalization of opposition groups and multi-candidate elections, breaking the long-standing control of the Communist Party. Perestroika means restructuring. It aimed to fix the broken economy by introducing some market ideas and decentralizing economic control. This meant less government control over businesses and more room for private enterprise. But these reforms also exposed how badly the economy was doing under the old system. Factories shut down, inflation rose, and people grew frustrated with shortages and poor living standards. This economic instability made many lose faith in the communist governments across Southeast Europe. Another big change was how the Soviet Union handled foreign policy. Gorbachev made it clear that the Soviet Union would no longer use military force to keep communist governments in power. This was a huge shift from the past, when the Soviet Union had sent troops to crush uprisings in countries like Hungary and Czechoslovakia. Now, without the threat of Soviet intervention, reform movements in countries like Poland, Hungary, and Czechoslovakia gained momentum. Peaceful protests and elections replaced violent crackdowns. In Southeast Europe, these reforms encouraged people to push for democracy and better living conditions. Governments that once relied on Soviet backing now faced internal pressure to change. As a result, many communist regimes fell between 1989 and 1991. The policies of Glasnost and Perestroika made it possible for these countries to transition peacefully into democratic societies with free markets. So, these policies were important because they opened up political discussion, revealed economic problems, and ended Soviet military support for communist governments. All of these factors combined to speed up the fall of communism in Southeast Europe and beyond.